Hey everybody, it's Raven. I hope you're having a great day. It is Thursday, January 15th, little after 5 p.m. on the West Coast. And I wanted to take a look at a couple things today. And I thought we would look at unemployment for 2026 and then see whatever else pops up. I know that a lot of people have been struggling with the unemployment. I saw one figure that there were 1.5 million layoffs last year. I don't remember the source, although I do remember a source was stated. I just don't remember what it is. And I know from having people in my life that this is something a lot of people struggle with. So I thought we would look at, will that improve for 2026? Or are we looking at more layoffs? And before we get started, this is for entertainment purposes only. Everything is allegedly. And I am a psychic medium who reads cards, channels, and I know there's some amazing readers out there on YouTube, and I absolutely admire them. So I was really drawn to this unemployment thing, though, and I really wanted to do a reading on it. So let's look at unemployment for 2026. And what that looks like. I am using the Abratuna Vampire deck. It's one of my favorites. Okay. 5 of Wands. Everyone's been in a battle. Either keeping your job, finding a job, or it just being a battle finding a job. Wheel of Fortune. It's crossing. Yeah. That is all about cycles, and there was no movement. There was no movement previously. So we're in that current state coming out of 2025, right? We're still in that kind of blocked state. What's behind us is the 9 of Cups, right? 9 of Cups tends to represent happiness, some celebration. Although on this card, this particular one, I don't know if you can see that. I always read this particular 9 of Cups as kind of greedy. It should be more of a reversed, although this deck isn't set up to be reversed. I'm almost reading that as a reverse 9 of Cups, is what we're coming out of, which would make more sense to me. Ace of Pentacles is going forward. So Ace of Pentacles is all about new opportunity in physical security. It could be physical, right? Health, money, right? In this case, we're talking unemployment, so we're talking finances. That is a very good sign. Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. But that also means bringing forward some employment, but having patience, right? I was trying to think of that slowest moving knight. What else? Other word was patience is the word I was looking for. And the foundation is 10 of Cups. I always like to look on the bottom too. We'll get back to the bottom card. So 10 of Cups is about coming together. There's a celebration. There's, things to be very happy about. Very happy about that. The energy is the 10 of Wands. That's how people are feeling, right? Those 10 of Wands is all about being burdened and carrying a heavy burden. And it is, because you're carrying a financial burden for not working, for those that have been out of work. The environment, 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so the 6 of Pentacles is about generosity and giving. So one of the things I know for 2025 that happened is so many people were out of work that the feeling I got, right? So it's just my read, is that companies were being really greedy, and the fact that they were believing they could capitalize on this unemployment and try to hire one person to do 3 jobs or 2 jobs and pay them less than they normally would have, because, people are desperate, and they were capitalizing on that, which really is kind of sick to me. But this 6 of Pentacles, the environment, is that realizing, let me just kind of put that up there, is realizing that it didn't work. It didn't work the way they thought it would. They really thought, we can get either a younger person for a lot less even though we need someone more senior in the role, it isn't working. And they're finally realizing that, which is the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is about abandonment, moving on, and I believe they're going to move on from that frame of thinking. Not all of them. There's still some greedy, always going to be greed out there. But I believe they're going to move on from that. And then we've got the Star as the outcome. So the Star, you know, let me just put that up there. So our Star card can have some illusion to it. And I do believe there's going to be some out there. It kind of goes with the Six of Pentacles. They're still under this illusion that they can make that work, that greedy kind of short-sightedness work. But there's also going to be some that realize that, and you could see her with the water, kind of pouring the water back in, or getting water is the feeding, right? The company needs feeding, and water is emotion, and they're missing a part of their integrity. And I think they're going to start to realize that. Now, on the bottom was the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is a strong leader, right? She's all about movement and leadership and getting stuff done. So I don't know if that is actually reading that as, does that mean the female leaders for the most part are recognizing that? And if you go into the emotion of the Star with the water on there, that they can't operate like this, right? Abandoning the Eight of Cups, and realizing they need to be more generous. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. But it doesn't necessarily have to be the CEO is a female. It could be just a strong female leader that is trying to help people understand we can't operate like this anymore. This greed has hurt us. So overall, I see this as a positive. I see this as improvement in 2026. Is it fixed? No. No, it's not. But I do see an improvement. So I want to look at this other deck and see what we can find out, see if this helps. Let's get clarification on the hiring managers, the hiring companies. Has their view changed from 2025 to 2026 in hiring practices? From greed to realizing that they need to do what's best for the company and actually hire the right people at the right pay. Is that going to change from 2025 to 2026? I really prefer flyers in this particular. Oh, wow, look at that. Okay, well, we got 3. Okay, cosmic cycles. Not all changes orchestrated. Some is simply turning the great wheel and the rhythm of the cosmos at work. So yes, they're turning. They're realizing whether it's the turning of the wheels in their head, whether it is, you know, what didn't work. Now we've got to do something different, right? Going back to the Wheel of Fortune, right? This did not work. It stopped. It stopped the cycle. It stopped them from achieving company goals. So I like that. And then we had climate change. The planet is undergoing profound shifts, yet forces may be at work to exploit this crisis for control. Yes, but in this case, this isn't about the climate change. It's about the mindset of a lot of the companies and the hiring managers. Unfortunately, that is just validating that, in my opinion. And controlled opposition. Be aware of those that appear to be fighting for change, but are secretly controlled by the very powers they oppose. So a lot of control in these companies. But I believe the climate change and the controlled opposition is really just talking about the current state of mind. But the cosmic cycle is showing the change that should be coming. And for those that want to know, this is the Illuminati Oracle. I don't know. Hopefully no one's offended by that. If not, just don't buy it and don't use it. I really like this deck. It's a great deck for looking at things that are government related, institution related, very Hierophant, right? Related in the tarot. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't think there is. I'm not getting that there is. Okay. So that is the unemployment view for 2026. I also want to look at one more thing, and I've seen some other readers read on this, and I just want to touch on the recent Sasha Riley audio recordings and the authenticity of them. I would just like to look at the authenticity. I will say that what I've listened to felt very authentic to me, but I'm trying to disconnect, right, my personal feeling about it, including the heartbreak, and just look at the authenticity. Oh, that is just an extra card. I don't need that one. What is the authenticity of Sasha Riley's audio recordings? I don't know. Did that show? Oh, my dog just came in. She loves being in here when I'm in here. Sasha Riley. Page of Pentacles is all about news coming out and security. And if you've heard I'm not going to go into, right? I don't want to make myself a target. I'm not going to go into the details. I just want to look at the authenticity because I want to lend authenticity that I think I feel through the cards, and in support of. 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands to me is always about kind of gaining independence. And that's what I think he's doing, is gaining his independence and stepping out of fear, which I absolutely commend. So I'm feeling the fear. The fear is very, very real. It's very heavy. And I don't think those recordings touched on even a ball tip pen size space of what really happened. But I feel like it's very authentic. Anything else to add to that, Spirit? No, we got the authenticity. I feel like these two cards absolutely talk about that, the Page of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands. So I am going to go with that and leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will bid you a good night and talk to you soon.